Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and everybody seemed to like my part 1 of my Final Fantasy XI Draw My Life. So, I don't know, I guess I figure I'll do another one, since I only really delved into the, installing process and just how memorable it was to first play the game and the morning of and all that stuff. I figure I might as well get into a little bit about what it was actually like to play the game. Now, I said I got to level 4, level 1 to 4, I just remember being so thrilling. I remember at level 1, I had no idea where to go. I had no idea that that there were zones with enemies, zones without enemies. I didn't understand how any of that really worked in Final Fantasy XI. Home points I didn't understand. I didn't know you would lose experience. I didn't understand the auction house. I didn't understand anything. So first, let's go with the first monster that I ever killed. So the first monster I ever killed was a bee. It was a hornet. So I remember the hornets looking, I don't know, something like this, pretty much. You know, they have their wings, and I know that's a terrible, terrible hornet. But I remember being an adventurer. I remember, there's my guy, being a level 1 warrior with the sword that they started us with, the onion sword. Doesn't look anything like an onion. And I remember just auto-attacking and auto-attacking and auto-attacking. And more importantly than anything, I remember wondering how I kept missing. I'm standing point blank in front of this enemy, and I'm missing and missing and missing. And like most people, it never really made sense to me at first, like how, with this creature in front of me, it's not moving, it's not doing anything to evade my attacks. How is it avoiding me? How is it avoiding my attacks? So that's when I learned about the individual weapon skills. And I would see, the point 1s and the point 2s, and those were so exciting to me. Every time you would hit an enemy, like I would swing my sword at an enemy, and let's say you got a lizard here. Let's say you got a lizard, bam, bam, lizard. And I would hit him, and it would say oh, sword skill plus, +1. And I got so excited every time I saw that message, because it meant that my weapon was getting stronger, and my attack power was going up, my accuracy was going up, everything was getting better. And then I remember getting to, I think it was sword skill 10 maybe, and I got Fast Blade, and Fast Blade was the first ever weapon skill I saw. And after however many levels, like maybe level 2, 3, I don't even remember, of not having a weapon skill and just auto attacking, it was thrilling. So I remember I got to 100 TP. I got to 100 TP. There's my TP bar. It's at 100. It's filled up. Bam, 100%. Bam, got it. Got more, maybe like 105%. And then I did it. I did Fast Blade, and I will never forget that. Just like it was, let's say you have a lizard here again, bam, lizard. By that point, I think I could have probably killed lizards, and all you just saw was bam, bam, just right through them. And it was only one animation, but it hit twice, and I didn't know that at that point in the game. And it was just really exciting to find them. Every time you got a weapon skill, you got excited, you just got excited big time. This exclamation mark is exactly how you felt every single time you did a weapon skill, except when it missed, and then it was a question mark, because you were like, how the heck did I miss? How the heck did I miss that whole weapon skill? And it was just so much fun finally having a weapon skill, and it only got better as time went on, with all the new weapon skills that I got and everything. But let's delve into that a little bit later. So I was playing the game, and around level 3, 4, I decided to learn how to use the auction house. So the auction house, I most remember a symbol of a mallet, and this mallet, terrible mallet right there, but I will never forget that mallet. I will never forget the auction house. So I remember I went there, and I was buying stuff, and I was selling stuff, so I was, basically transferring guild to and from onto it, and I was learning it pretty quickly. But there's something that I didn't know about the auction house, and I didn't know this for a good 2 weeks of playing the game. Now, when you go to the auction house, you have the little, you have the windows right here, and you have your character, and you're like, hey, I want to sell this, and it tells you that you'll have a transaction fee. And they're like, hey, you'll have a transaction fee. And when I saw the transaction fee, I didn't understand what it meant. I was like, what is this transaction fee really even talking about? And so I thought it was telling me that that's the amount of money I could sell the item for. So I remember I had a stack of fire crystals. So you have crystals right here, right? I don't know. That's good enough. That's a good enough crystal. It looks kind of like a double-sided pencil, but that's good enough. And I had 12 of these, and I had a stack, and I went to the auction house, and I went to sell them, and it said it'll be 54 gil. It'll be 54 gil for a transaction fee. I didn't understand that meant that I had to pay 54 gil in order to get them up there. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll sell these fire crystals for 54 gil. And you know what would happen to me? Half the time, this is what happened. So there was two things that could happen. One would be on this side where I get the like 8,000 gil they were actually worth. That happens some of the time. Most of the time, somebody would bid like 100 gil and get it, and I would have no idea why. This was the price that I actually meant to put it up for. Well, this is the price I was actually getting most of the time. And that's all because I set my minimum price at 54 gil, and I always wondered, you know, why do I have to buy these items for 8,000, but every time I sell them, I'm only getting like 100. And I just felt so dumb when I figured it out. Like, as soon as I figured it out, I just turned the game off and said, I am so stupid. And I say it took like a week or two, and in reality, I think it took longer than that, to be honest. I know that I really, really didn't understand the auction house at all at the age of 13, and once I figured it out, though, it wasn't so bad, and that's when I started making money. But this has all happened around, like, this all started around level 4, the first time I used the auction house, and it was just such a great feeling to see all those items and just see all those super high level items that I would be working towards at some point. And I had no idea how much more expansive those items were going to be when I actually reached the max level point. So, around level 4 this happened. There's not really much more I can say until level 6 or 7. Around level 7, I believe, I ran into my first quad av. So one last look at this before I move on to the next one. There you go. So level 7, I found my first quad av, essentially. For those of you who don't know, a quad av was a beastman, similar to that of the Amalgia and the Ixal, and they were essentially giant turtles. Like, this is all they were. They were just turtles, you know, high. They weren't ninjas though, but you know, whatever. And they held axes and things like, you know, and just weapons, and I don't even know what the heck this guy has, what kind of weapon that is. It's like a wand. It's like a 3-leaf clover or something. I don't even know. But he's holding a weapon, and you know, I remember running into one at level 7. But he was a higher level than me. He wasn't like one of the level 6 or 7 quad avs run into. And I started fighting him. So I ran up to him from behind, you know, with my sword. I still have the level 1 sword, mind you. I actually haven't upgraded my sword yet. I ran in and I missed him like 8 times in a row. And when I hit him, I did a decent amount of damage, but I could not hit him most of the time. And I was down to like no HP. I had like 5 HP. So I was almost dead. I was starting to get worried, and you know, I was starting to really, you know, have problems. And so I started running away. And this is when I learned how brutal this game could really be, because he chased me all the way until my death. And I died, and I had just hit level 7, mind you. And, you know, it was really upsetting for me to die like that. And there's nothing worse than dying for the first time in a game. This is the first time I died, and seeing this giant message pop down on your screen. And when I say pop down, I mean pop up, that I had down leveled to level 6. I had no idea that was even a feature in the game. And I was like, wait a minute, I just bought level 7 stuff. So does that mean I can't use it anymore? And sure enough, I couldn't use the level 7 stuff I had just bought. So I had sold all the level 4 stuff, and so I had to go back to my level 1 stuff to get from level 6 back to level 7. And oh man, are those the beginning of brutal days or what? So there wasn't really much I could do though, because I was just hooked on the game. I just wanted to keep playing it. I didn't care that I down leveled. I just wanted to keep going. So I got back up. I got my level back. You know, I got my level back, and I moved on. You know, you can't focus on the past in Final Fantasy XI for too much. You gotta move forward, and that goes pretty much without saying. So around level 9, and this memory I will never forget. I have a real life friend who got me into the game in the previous story. He's over in the Pashal Marshlands. He's about level 14, and he was just soloing in Konstadt Highlands, and he had never been to the Pashal Marshlands. So he's level 14, and keep in mind, yes, it's the same friend from 6 months ago who's level 14. So he kind of only got back into it because I got back into it. So yeah, think about that. That's crazy, right? So this is what happened. I'm over here in North Gustaberg now. So I got my little sword. I've actually upgraded it at this point now that I'm level 9. I'm in North Gustaberg. Yeah, I'm killing lizards and, you know, and quadabs now without dying as much. And, you know, and there's not really much I can say about these quadabs. And I'm killing this stuff and he goes, hey man, hey, from all the way over here. Sends me a tell. Let's pretend he has a sword too. And he says, hey man, hey, you. And I go, what's up? And he says, you should come to Pashal Marshlands. Me and a friend here, we're gonna kill some monsters. And I'm thinking in my head, oh cool, so we're gonna group up and get some experience points together. Alright, that sounds great. So this is my first trek through the Conchal Highlands. Now for those of you who don't know, the Conchal Highlands, essentially giant plains with mountains and little paths in between the mountains and more mountains and maybe a plateau here, because that's totally a good picture of a plateau. And you run through it, you know, you run through it, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And there's tons of monsters that are trying to kill you the whole time. There's goblins, there's rams, there's sheep, there's bees, and pretty much this is the point in the game where things are really trying to start killing you. But I made it through there. I didn't have a problem with Conchal Highlands getting through it. Level 9. And I also didn't know what to expect at level 9 though. So I got to Pashal Marshlands thinking, okay, the monsters in Conchal were pretty hard. I wonder what we're doing here. And keep in mind, I knew about checking monsters in this game. Basically in Final Fantasy XI, when you looked at an enemy, let's say you had that bee from earlier, it would calculate the level. You would be like, hey, I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at you. And it would tell you, all right, so it's easy prey. You know, it's easy prey. Or it would tell you things like it's impossible to gauge if they were a notorious monster, like you know, just you're pretty much don't stand a chance against it. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, I saw some like incredibly toughs and some very toughs and some toughs and some even matches in the Highlands. So I wonder what kind of enemies are here. So I get to Pashal Marshlands and my friend is just he's there. He's at the entrance waiting for me. Invites me to the party. And there's 3 of us. There's me, you know, there's my friend, and there's his friend. And for some reason, our legs get larger every time that I mention a new friend. And so we're all chilling there, and he says, all right, I'm going to go pull something. Now, I had never even heard of pulling in a game before. And basically, it's where my friend says, okay, see that enemy? And he picked a quadab of all things. I'll never forget. It was a copper quadab. And, you know, he says, all right, so I'm going to pull that quadab back to us, and we're gonna kill it. So he pulls it back to us, and about 1 hit on each of us, maybe 2, we all died. Like, that was it. And my friend starts cracking up, and he thinks it's so funny. And I was simply not amused, because guess what happened to me again? If this guy's me, guess what happened to me again? Level down. That's right. So I now wasted about 30 minutes running to this guy just to die and home point back to Gustaberg, where I was going to have to get my experience back again. Luckily, I still had the level 7 gear from before, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But still, I was furious at my friend. I'm like, yo, this isn't the language I used, obviously, but I was like, yo, I ain't doing that again. I'm leveling up without you. Forget that. I ain't doing that. And, yeah, so now I had to redo a lot of the experience grind from 8 to 10. Now keep in mind the experience grind from 8 to 10 was brutal, but I ended up finding a place not far from the zone to from South Gustaberg to the Bastark markets, and it was on this mountain path. So you know, you go up this mountain path, and you know, there's a mountain, you know, there's a big area at the top, and you can keep going up if you really want, and you know, it's like bam, mountain. And you know, there's enemies up here like goblins and bees, more bees, and lizards, you know, and skeletons. That's the one thing I remember. That's another thing I remember that's really bad. I was up here at nighttime, and I ran into my first skeleton. Now, skeleton, I don't even think I can draw a skeleton, to be honest. So let's just say that that's a skeleton. You know, bones. He's got no ligaments or anything, so he's you know, no muscles, no ligaments. So that's a skeleton. Obviously, his head is perfectly intact because it's a, you know, cranium. And I remember I ran into him, and I was like, okay, I don't want to fight that guy. I don't know. No, I don't want to fight this guy. No. So I'm over here, right? I'm over here. let's say I'm over here. I'm over here and I'm fighting, you know, I'm fighting some, like, I don't know, a sheep. Fighting a sheep, and, you know, bam, pretend that's a sheep because, you know, I don't have any more room to draw. And it hit me and got me down to, like, 80 HP, which put me in the yellow. Now, this guy's over here, they aggro to low HP. So this guy says, hey, I'm gonna be your friend. He kills me. I just got level 9 back, by the way. Guess what happened to me again? You're never gonna believe it. Just take a guess. Just take a guess what happened to me. Just take a guess. Yes, that's right. I died again, and I leveled down again. And there's not really... I kept dying. Like, this was the point in the game where I was like, how do people enjoy this? Like, I just keep dying and leveling down again. I can't get past this point. And it was so weird that I just kept wanting to play. I wanted to overcome that whole problem of I just kept dying over and over again. And this is not the last time that I leveled down before making it to the Valkyrie Dunes. The last time I leveled down on my way to Valkyrie Dunes is actually going to be a funny story to some people who have played Final Fantasy XI. So, I'm a warrior, right? Now, because I'm level 9, I actually I'm level 10 at this point. Because I have Provoke. Provoke essentially means, hey, enemy, come fight me. It's a taunt of sorts. And, yeah, you know, and so I'm running to North Gustaberg from South Gustaberg. So this is me. I'm running. You know, I've got my sword. For some reason, I gave my guy eye that times. I've got my sword, and I'm running along. You know, I'm running along the path, and I'm going down this hill in South Gustaberg, and there's a ton of people here, and I have no idea why there's so many people chilling at this hill. And so I start running down the hill. I've never been down this hill. You know, I've been down this hill once before, but I still had no idea what it was for, and I didn't see as many people there the last time. And I see this giant lizard, like way bigger than the lizards that I was used to fighting too. And it had a really clever name. Its name was a Leaping Lizzy. That's right, Leaping Lizzy. And I'm only level 10 warrior, not great gear. I barely even have all my gear pieces on. No shield, no nothing, just a sword. And I see this guy and I'm like, maybe that's why everyone's here. So I don't even provoke it. I just walked up and started hitting it. I claimed it, no problem. I popped my ultimate, which, you know, my 2-hour, which was Mighty Strike. So I'm hitting him, and he's hitting me back. So we're fighting each other, me and Leaping Lizzy. And I just remember a group of people, like, all of a sudden, just, like, watching me fight him. Like, that's, like, just all these people just, like, waiting for me to die. Because my health is starting to get really, really low. And so these guys are all watching me, and I died. Now, not only did I die, but do you want to guess what happened? I'm level 10. Guess what happened? Just take a guess. I died again, and I leveled down again. I leveled down to level 9 again, and I realized I wasn't ready to go to the Valkyrie Dunes or the Highlands yet. And then one of the guys just instantly grabbed him and killed him in one hit, because he was level 75. He just grabbed it, killed him in one hit, and he did a slash cheer. So I'm assuming he got the rare boots that drop. You know, he got these boots, these leaping boots, you know, whatever they are. And I had no idea that these boots even existed. And I can't believe, you know, that is like one of the last times I ever claimed Leaping Lizzy. The first and one of the last times. I only ever claimed Leaping Lizzy like twice after that. Once was for a friend, we got no drop. And the other time was again by accident, just running past it. I found him, killed him, no drop. So I've never gotten boots off of Leaping Lizzy. Never bounding boots, never leaping boots, no boots, ever. But I have died and down leveled him. And this is, it's just I got so tired of down leveling so much. You wouldn't believe that at some point I would, you know, make it to the max level and be a hardcore, you know, end game person in this game, but I was, and it was really, really fun. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this Draw My Life. I figured that talking about my early experiences in Final Fantasy XI after installing would be pretty funny to people, because I'm sure some people went through this and some people had rough times. I was really young and it was really difficult to overcome a lot of these challenges. So if you want to see another Draw My Life video, please put it in the comments below. Please like, favorite, subscribe, and share, especially if you have a friend who might be interested in what the old Final Fantasy games were like, and you know, how different they were from Final Fantasy XIV, really. Also check out my Facebook at www.facebook.com/MrHappy1227. You can go there and you can you can just you know, ask me questions, pick my brain, give me ideas, and it's just a really nice community of people. Also, if you want to support my YouTube channel, you can donate. There's a link below in the description. You go there, and that goes towards the equipment in my Amazon wish list. You can also donate to a charity that I do work with A Fiend Live. There's details about that in the description. And if you need more details on any of this stuff, just send me a message. I'd be glad to answer any of your questions. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care.